Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissack and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissack.
And I'm Jim. Yes.
And I'm Adam Roach.
Doing financial freedom with me.
Yeah.
See? So we have to ad lib.
All right. I'll shut up.
Oh my God.
I thought you were poking me for a reason.
No, I'm just leaning over. All right, you may start again.
We should just use this.
That was funny.
Let's just roll with it. I feel like this is
Okay. So
I feel like this is how we started off last time. So we love Adam and Jimmy, but we were a little surprised that last year when we had you all on, it was like our second or third most listened to episode.
Jimmy, why are they surprised? I mean, come on. Why would they be surprised?
I don't know.
I don't know
why that would surprise them at all. For you?
No, I don't know. Maybe we should start our own podcast. We'll have them on as guests.
I guess.
Well, we thought that today would be a good time, as seeing as today is Valentine's Day, then when you guys are going to be listening to this, it'll be Valentine's Day, that we would answer some couple questions that we got. And we actually got several. So we picked the 5 or 6 that kind of were a common theme or common thread, and thought that we'd go through and have the guys on to help us answer today.
Perfect.
All right. We'll start. You want to start with the first one? Let's go with the first one. So the first one is from Mary Beth. And this was a question that was asked multiple times. And it was, how do you guys turn off like work talk and not really talk about it? Do you have a system? Do you have a certain way? Are there boundaries for when you talk shop and it's not allowed? Or how do you guys actually do that? So I know you guys have talked about this a little bit before, but Linda, you guys want to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, early in the years when Linda and I first started working together, we worked with a business psychotherapist named Dr. Fred Gross. And he has a really good book called Black Belt of the Mind. And he teaches a concept in there called channeling. And so he talks about when everything has a number to it. Like, for instance, our work channel was channel 37. Our home channel was channel 99, and goes on like that. And so he said the mind works like a TV set. He said you turn your channels based on where you're at and what you're doing. And so when we went to work, we were really working on channel 37 and really focused to the activities on channel 37. And then when we came home, we were on channel 99, and that was my job to be the best husband, the best dad, the best person I can be at home to support Linda and the kids and the family.
That's really
so. It was kind of a neat deal, and it really worked for us. I mean, it got us limiting the phone calls coming in the evening. We set parameters around that and different things, and time off.
Yeah, we had a 5-minute limit for a phone call in a special room. You had to go into the special room. You had 5 minutes so if it wasn't a phone call you could handle in 5 minutes, then you got to punt it to the next day. And one of the reasons we did that is because, to be honest with you, literally one of us would be thinking about business. You know how when you think about business and you can't sleep?
Yeah.
Instead of just letting the other sleep, it would be the very kind thing to do. We would say, hey, what do you think about, can you believe so-and-so did so-and-so or something? And then forget it. There's no sleeping for anybody.
Yeah. Also, true. Our kids at home, whenever we would take a phone call at home, all of a sudden the tonality of our voice would go up about 4 or 5 different octaves. Mm-hmm. And the kids noticed it before we did.
Yeah.
And so, the kids, what are you mad about? What are you blah, blah, blah? And that's not the way you want to go to your home in the evening. Or
if we brought it up at the dinner table, our voices would change. And so for the longest time, our daughter thought business was a terrible thing because they could feel the energy change, and we weren't even aware of it. We're both high D, so anything we do is going to be with passion.
Yeah.
Right.
So, And so those were just several things that we did to really combat that.
So what do y'all do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back to Jimmy's. So you had 99 channels. Remember DirecTV when it had like 1,000 channels? I think we have like
Yeah.
1,000 channels. We have to figure out which channel we're going to get on. No, I'm kidding. It's, what I like about this is 2 Christmases ago, Dana bought me a hot tub.
Oh yeah.
For Christmas, which is the best gift that continues to give. And we did say in the beginning that we would keep that an electronic free zone. And then, I kind of got, Dana kept bringing her phone out there. And so I bought a 65-inch TV and I put it outside. And I thought, well, if she's going to be on her phone, that didn't really work out that well.
You're on a channel, but it's ESPN.
Yeah, I'm on ESPN.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
I know it is funny. I think though for us too, like we kind of now just know that at the beginning of the day, we'll say, what time are you done today?
Mm-hmm.
And like, no matter whatever time it is, then we know like, we don't, whether it's 3 or whether it's 6:30, whatever it is, we both know that that's the time that person is done for the day.
Yeah.
And then we really don't do a lot of work after that unless it's just something that, is really important, I would say.
Well, and I would also say in the evening, we know, Linda, very similar to what you said, that if we start talking shop's going to be in our head all night long, and neither one of us will sleep. And so I've been guilty of it. Right before we go to bed, I would say, "Can you believe?" And Dan's like, "Oh, nope, can't say
I'll be like,
that.
do not talk about it because I have to
hear it.
I have to sleep tonight. Like I need to sleep tonight because it's the same way. I mean, I'll be up all night long, worried about it.
Very similar.
Well, one permanent solution to that, honestly, for us, because we're a little farther down the journey than you guys, but one permanent solution for that is to get people that are laying awake at night worrying about the stuff. And so therefore you don't have to. So end game for everybody should be that you have people, you bring people into your life that you're not laying awake at night and worrying about it because that's who they are and that's what they do.
That's good. Yeah, Linda, I thought you were going to say have different bedrooms and bedrooms, beds and bedrooms, but I'm glad you said different people. That's good.
We're not that far down the line.
Yeah, we're not that far down the journey. He still complains about the sweats. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh,
good.
I know.
I'd say it's a continual work in progress with the boundaries, right? It's a continual conversation that we get to have.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say in the beginning, I would get frustrated by it. And I think you probably get frustrated too, though you've done a really good job knowing as the kids come home and we're eating and our time together, that we really protect that time now.
Yeah.
Because we know that time is a finite time with the kids also. And so we want to be present.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your meal's been amazingly good.
Yeah. We've been cooking like every night, y'all, because we're trying to not do any processed food. And it is, oh my gosh, you all know this too because you've done it, but like you just feel so different when you eat out versus eating at home.
Totally. And I saw your recipe this morning on for breakfast, whatever. We're doing the same thing. So I have some great recipes. We'll share them.
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, next question was, and this was kind of a funny one, but how do you determine who does what in the relationship? And do each of you have a certain lane that you stay in? This came from Emily. This was a really, really good question.
Okay, you two start on this one.
Yeah, I feel like, well, we're a little bit different because we have different businesses, but we help each other kind of in each other's businesses. So it's not like we work in the same thing, doing the same thing every single day. But I do kind of think we've never really said like, you're going to do this and I'm going to do this, or you're going to do this and I'm going to do this. But it was important for both of us that we both felt confident that one of it, what do we used to call that? Like, equal, that there was like equality, meaning if I got sick for 2 weeks, then I would feel confident that Adam could keep rolling with whatever it was, anything and everything, whether it was work stuff or whether it was house stuff or both typically, and vice versa. If something happened and, for a week or two, he was out, like, could I just continue? So we've always, I think, commingled stuff because it was important for us to be able to have that in each other. And then even like around the house, I don't know. I know Jimmy's good at this too, but Adam's good at stuff. So like we just
hold on. Like what? Give me an example.
Like this is what I do. When the trash is full, I pull it out.
This is the worst. Okay, let's go back to a lane here. Let's talk about this lane.
When the trash is full, I pull it out, tie the bag, open the back door, and just throw it right there.
Jimmy, the trash can's about 6 feet right by the door.
So Adam comes home.
Big trash.
And same with like my boxes, like Amazon boxes. I get everything out, I open the back door, and I just set all the boxes right there. So in any given day, we could have 6 foot of trash just at the back door, but Adam will go and get it all and take it out. So like, there's certain things that we do.
And though if she
our pastor need to start taking the trash out early every morning.
Yep. If she doesn't tell me that it's out there. We have raccoons that we have fed now in the neighborhood, and they know that to come to our back door and get a meal. She has to clean all that up. Yeah, that's her lane. She has to clean that up. I do think though that how do you determine who does what? I love your answer. Yeah, we definitely stay in our strength zones. We know what we're going to be good at and what we need to leverage out. We keep a really clean house, though we still have someone that comes and cleans the house. Yeah. I love working out in the yard. At the same time, we still have someone that comes and maintains the yard. So, I mean, there's still things that we can leverage out.
I run our calendars, and Adam really does more of like our, travel. Like if we're going to go somewhere, Adam is better at that. So he does all that. Because I can't, like my ADD, I can't do all that stuff. But I keep us like organized and know when we're going and where we're going and things like that. So I think we just really try to stay in our strength zones, and we both know what we're not good at. And luckily, kind of the other one is, and we kind of balance it out.
What about you all?
Not like us.
Yeah, I think you are a lot like us in the fact that you are similar, like we're similar. Because a lot of people are going to be like opposites of each other.
Yeah.
And we're more alike and y'all are more alike. So I think that helps a little bit. Other than, you get a little power struggle because of that sometimes, because you could both do the same things. But I think we've kind of figured out what lane he excels in. And I think the comfort comes when you're working with your significant other, when there is something that if you just didn't want to do it that day, or you don't want to handle that, and you know that they're better at it, you can just hand it off to them. And I love that because there's just some kind of comfort in knowing that I'll probably do it, but there's a real good chance if I don't want to, or I say, would you just do that? Because I don't want to do that. Or you're better at that. I always say you're better at that. So, we've figured our lanes out. Like with these cabins, we're up in Missouri right now. He's done all the development, all the building, all the finding, and all those things. And I just come in and do
all the interior
stuff. And so it's kind of fun because it's projects where we're both working towards end goal, but I know what my lane is. And just like me flying to Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky all those years, I'm more of a person that could go do that. I'm a multiplier. I like to, when things are not anything yet, and go make it, go recruit people to stuff. But he's like, now he's involved in areas that he's really good at with it, so we just kind of learn to find out who's better at what.
In the beginning it was really tough though, learning how to work together. It was hard because I came from a different industry than Linda, and she was in the business before me, and so whenever I joined her, she wanted me to do all the crap that she didn't like to do. And the problem with that is we're both alike and we both don't like the same crap. And so we had to figure out who was going to do the crap and what was going to be my role in the deals. And it so happened that I was really good with working with buyers, and I had, listened better than Linda probably listened, but she was just an incredible lister and stuff. And so she worked the listing side of the business, and I worked the buyer side of the business, and built the buyer team.
But I think people do need to figure out each other's strengths. And one of the things I had to learn, and I think most women may have to learn, is, they always say women want love and men want respect. Number one, how do we keep, our life separate from what we're doing at work? But also, how do I respect his strengths? And how does he respect my strengths, right? So that we both feel respected in the part that we do.
And what's cool is to be able to have that, and yet both of us, our bigger goals are together and building a huge life, and both of us are aiming for that same goal.
Right.
And so just figuring out the parts that we're best at, we're most suited to do, and it's, our unique ability is really what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, because I think that's something we've really worked on over the last probably 2 or 3 years, but did you all find it difficult or easy to set long-term goals together? Like, did you find that you kind of wanted the same end goal, the same long-term goals 10 years from now, say?
Yeah, I think we've always kind of wanted a big life, whatever that looks like.
It started with a small plan with a big goal what we thought was a big goal in the beginning. And then all of a sudden that big goal became a very little goal, and, it blew up and it got bigger. As our mind expanded and we got around more people and learned more, everything was expanding at that point. And so continuing to grow and learn together. The biggest problem is when one person stops growing and the other one keeps growing.
Right.
Yeah, we know many friends like that.
Yeah.
Well, I was just talking with Sarah the other day. We were talking about how sometimes even your couple friends that you can get around people and your conversation is so blah because they're not learning and growing, and you still are learning and growing. And you're like, wow, that's so sad, because this used to be a very fruitful kind of conversation. And now I feel like it's like there's no substance to it at all. And that can be kind of sad. And it gets harder and harder to find people who are still growing and still learning. I remember something Gary said years ago that really stuck with me. And this is why I think we do our goal stuff differently nowadays, is because, and I think this is why we've been able to accomplish so much, is because he said, just get up every day and be the best you can be and do the best you can do. And so we just kind of treat every day like that. And some days we're kind of shocked at, with 2 people putting the effort in and us constantly working at stuff, how things multiply over time. We're head on the journey. So you don't see it right now while you're in the throes of it, but as it begins to multiply, it can get really pretty big, all from just getting up every day and say, okay, if we're going to do these cabins, how do we do the best we can do at these cabins? And how do we not stop at one? And we're not going to set a limit on how many we do. We'll just figure out, where the opportunities are. And once they're there, take advantage of them.
Yeah. That's, what's neat about that too, Linda, that compounding effect. It compounds your relationship too. Yeah. I mean, your relationship continues to grow as that's happening also, as you're stepping in at 100%, she's stepping in at 100%, and then your relationship continues to grow 100% because you're both putting time, energy, and effort into it. It's fun.
Yep. Love
that.
Yeah.
Business works exactly the same way.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Yep. Okay, Ruth asked, this is kind of an easy one. Ruth asked, how often do you plan and or have meetings together, and what does that look like?
Okay, well, y'all probably, we're at a stage where we...
Y'all get to go first on that one.
Oh, we go first on this one. Okay, well, I was actually thinking y'all probably have better... I know y'all go every year to Florida to plan, and we kind of gotten to a place now where... we're not sitting down, making the dream boards like we used to. We did all of that. Every year I would buy this one book that you had to write in there all the things as if they'd already happened and all this kind of stuff, and make the whole family do it. And we kind of really haven't done that. We were talking about it on the plane over here. We kind of plan in movement. Like I mostly do the planning. And then if he has something that he wants to make sure gets on there or whatever, he'll say, hey, I want to do this fishing trip, or, hey, let's do this cruise or this Italy trip or whatever. And we'll just say, oh, okay, well, let's find a place and do it. So we really kind of do our planning a little bit differently now. We're always planning for something that we want, but we don't really sit down and, have this 5-year from now, let's do this, that kind of stuff like we used to. But we did do a lot of that in the very beginning.
I'll say
she pretty much runs the calendar, and then I'll squeeze in whatever.
He can't even find the calendar.
I've given up. I don't even look anymore.
Well, we both have to have our calendars, and our calendars have to be in sync with each other. And we do that you do that really, really well with the calendar planning.
We're just in a season of life too, where like the kids are something every weekend. I'm going back to Kentucky. We want to go to this event. We've got like, if we don't have that, then we don't we could easily go 7 days or 10 days where we might not even see each other because it's just, so we have to we're in that season where we have to have everything planned out really, really good. And we do our annual meetings the first week of January every single year down in Florida. And we do them with the kids, and we do our vision boards and all those things. What we probably are not as good at, I would say that we have an area of opportunity in is continuing those meetings throughout the year. We've gotten, we will a couple of times, or if we are doing a big project, then we'll sit down and, look at that and plan around that. But I think it would probably behoove us to quarterly go back and say, okay, let's actually really look at this.
Well, I would agree and disagree because, you have your vision board right there on your phone, right? I've got mine there, mine's there, and there's also right here. So we see it all the time. I would think that we need to come back and check off what did we accomplish.
Yeah.
Right. Go back and see what did you accomplish? What did you not accomplish? I've got a stack. What's in that cabinet over there of probably the last 4 years worth of vision boards that we've created electronically, that I'll go back and I'll check off everything that we've accomplished and I'll just file it away. And so I think we could probably get much better at doing that.
Yeah. I think, Adam's much
Dan
better.
Sullivan says you need to really celebrate those accomplishments and stuff. When you're not, you're living in the gap.
Yeah. Well, and he does that. I was just thinking, it's funny. After all these years, I'm sitting here thinking of something about Dan Sullivan at the same time he mentions that, but it's, Dan Sullivan has this thing where every 90 days you look back and say what has given you, great pride.
Yeah.
And then what can give you momentum moving forward. So in the fact that you could take those things and for example, when we did this exercise, we forgot we'd written a best-selling book. Well, when you forget you've done something, you can't actually let it propel into some other success. So I would say that's probably the best part about every 90 days, looking back and saying, hey, what are we most proud of? Yeah. And then what's giving us momentum, and what are we looking forward to? So it's kind of a neat little form that he uses to do that very thing, because he knows entrepreneurs don't do that. We write our goals once a year and we don't look at them again. But even subconsciously, I think we achieve them because they're on our brains.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wrote that down. That's good.
Yeah, that's really good. I think, definitely you do a much better job about that. Linda and I have talked a lot about the Maxwell's preparation on the front end and reflection on the back end, and how both of those are areas of opportunity for us. And I think because it's just a go. And sometimes you just forget to stop and say, wow, what did we actually do?
Well, and a great example of that is we're in February and you just got notice of your tithing and that incredible accomplishment of tithing that was done last year. And it's just a piece of paper now that's sitting on the counter. It's just sitting there. It's like, okay, check mark, done. But there's been no real celebration around that. And that was a big deal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was important to you last year to get that done.
Yeah,
it was.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was really good. Okay, that kind of actually leads us into Katie's question, which was, do you have any activities that help create alignment between the two of you in a world that's always dividing us?
Wait a minute, I'm going back to the tithing now. Tithing is 10%, right?
What?
I think that was 20%.
I know. I did a lot. I did good last year.
That's good. That's awesome.
Doing that
I don't think there's an upper limit.
No, I don't
think so. God won't get mad at
you. No, not at all. We're going to celebrate that, honey.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the next one?
Okay. Activities that help create alignment in a world that's always dividing us. I know this year, one thing that we 100% committed to is a quarterly just us trip, just at least a 3 or 4 day weekend every single quarter, planned out, where we know where we're going, what we're doing. Actually, in this quarter is next week we'll be in West Palm Beach. Yeah. So that'll be a good one with John. But we have to almost just be intentional with time together. That's not
Well, we have on our vision board that is the same, and that's 5 activities for the year.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to do 1 a quarter, but we'll go to concerts together. We'll go to sporting events together. Those types of things that we both really look forward to. I can honestly say I'll go to any sporting event with my lovely wife, though I will kick and scream as we go to the University of Kentucky football games or basketball games. Jimmy, it's just not, I love those events, but I can't wear the blue. I just cannot put on blue.
We went, I got us like great tickets, like in the mezzanine, like the suites where like they give you steak and all kinds of stuff to get him to go to the football game. And I'm like, run out and get a blue shirt to wear. He comes back with a Lulu collared polo that's baby blue. Baby blue. I'm like, that's the wrong color of blue.
She just doesn't get the Indiana Kentucky rivalry.
That's funny.
No, that's important.
Well, it just shows that we're never going to have alignment on that issue.
No, we won't. House divided.
For sure. What do you all do?
Yeah, I think, I think having common interest and desires for what your life looks like keeps you aligned, right? What is important to you? Well, family's important, so that we're aligned there. Our goals and our dreams are important, so we're aligned there. I mean, I really think, to me, that's kind of what keeps us aligned.
Those things change over the years, though. As you get older and you have grandkids and stuff, your kids dictate a lot of your activities of what you do. And so the grandkids and the kids and stuff are very high on our focus list. And so those are 2 of the things that really kind of keep us on track with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just made me think of, it's really just about like, you're just in different seasons of your life all the time, and you're just pivoting and adjusting depending on what season you're in. And I don't remember who we got this from, and I say this all the time, but when you really want to have a great relationship or you want to grow in something, they say you get into what what that person is into. Yeah. And I think there are things like, we've learned, like Linda, you probably didn't love to fish, but like you go and you get into it because Jimmy's into it. I never was into tennis whatsoever, but I got into it because Adam's into it. So like, I think sometimes when you're trying to create alignment, it might not always be those same exact things. If you have commonalities, then you're luckier than most. But I just think you have to be intentional about getting into what the people you care about are into, even if you're not into it.
Jimmy, you know what she's saying there is when we go to the malls with them and we sit there in the center area and the couches and stuff, that's us, Jimmy. That's us taking one for the team there, right? That's what the activities. That we're being team.
Well, in the early years, Linda was a seminar complete junkie, and I had to inform her that going to a seminar was not a vacation for everybody in the family. And so, anyway, she never did adjust to that very well.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I think you do give and take. I don't think you go to, like if I don't go fishing every time, but as long as I can listen to a book on audio while I'm fishing and catch the biggest fish, I'll go with him. Yeah. But otherwise, we kind of like sometimes he'll go to learning events that he may not would have put on his calendar, but because it's on mine, he's going to go with me.
And I'll even get sometimes more than you do.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I always like it because he gets different things than I do. And he enjoys it when he's there. It's just might be something. Fishing is on his calendar every year. But learning, he would go because he knows it's important to me, but then he would love it too.
Yeah. And, I think that with, for you to build the biggest life that you can have, you both have to have big common goals. Mm-hmm. And those common goals do a whole lot of things that keep you tied together. Yeah. And most people I see that that they separated and stuff or get where they're not in alignment and stuff with that. They don't ever reach their potential. Yeah. So you have to really get together and think big together and have big goals together in order to achieve a big life.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's very true. The next one actually kind of, Linda, you just talked about, but do you ever do things alone, or how do you have self-time when you're together for work and family 24/7? Sam asked.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can
I have to have my alone time sometimes. I mean, like there's certain things I like to do that I can kind of feel when I need to do it, like pickleball with a group of ladies, running with my girlfriend, going and doing, IVs or massages or things like self-care. I love self-care. And so that's something he didn't care that much about, but he never says a word about me going to do it, just when are you going to be back so we can eat dinner, that's it. Or so I can have dinner ready or whatever. So really I do. And he does his fishing. So I would say that's your alone time.
And I have my guy buds I like to hang out with and like to do adventurous stuff and stuff that's a little bit off the wall and with fishing
really like
and
different. Off the wall,
like going out in the ocean 8 days.
Oh yeah, that's off the wall. Okay,
and you never know what you're going to get into. Yeah, and so I like that as me time.
Yeah,
and I used to get a lot of reading done and a lot of thinking done, and I like that time.
Yeah.
And so, but also I really enjoy the time Linda and I get to do things together and stuff. And so that part of it we plan and it's fun.
Yeah. I do think it's important definitely to have like things that you can do alone. And I don't know, I like you take the kids to their tennis stuff sometimes and I don't go, and that's like your time and you like that. And Linda and I always joke, but like when I go back to Kentucky, the whole bed is like all my books and my laptop and all my notebooks. And Linda does the same when Jimmy's not there. Like all of our stuff is sprawled out on the bed. So I do think
they've been replaced.
Yeah, with books and computers.
Like that whenever I'm with her too. All of her stuff's laid out.
Yeah, but I think it's just being intentional and creating that time. But then we're always excited to get back to each other and get back in a routine of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is good. I love that we get to have that alone time, and I love that we get to choose to have the alone time too.
Yeah,
and without having insecurities around it or having ill will towards the other one. I mean, that's for me, that's a mature relationship. That's also good communication when you say, hey, I need to go hit some tennis balls for the next 2 hours. Leave me alone, or go away for a week, go back to Kentucky. And that's good. There's a good reset there also.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because then she misses me a bunch.
Yeah.
Absence makes the heart go fonder.
That's right. That's right. Okay, last one we actually got a couple of times, and I think this Adam and I've been talking a lot about this, and actually we just kind of spoke about this too. But I think maybe post-pandemic, this seems like it's more popular of couples maybe going into business together, or one leaving a job to go in with the other one, maybe specifically even in real estate. And any advice that we would give to people who are unsure about that. So yeah, would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that too first, maybe.
Well, for me, it was a question of dollars and cents.
Yeah.
And I remember Dr. Gross sitting down with Linda and I in one of our one-on-one counseling meetings. He drew a funnel up on the board and he said, if both of y'all have the profile of being rainmakers, and both of y'all can go out there and maximize your efforts together, the top of the money, everything goes into the top, and you can pay other people to do the other activities to do the productive stuff on the admin side. And he said, what's going to come out is going to be a big number. And he was exactly right.
Wow.
And so it was a matter of, for me, having to learn a new skill of real estate and getting good at that as quick as I could, to make that happen. And so it works out together. I was telling Linda on the way up here on the plane, we were talking about this and said, if you're a husband and wife team and you're going into business together, whatever role you're going to take in the business, you need to be as prolific at it as you can possibly be. You can't go in there and try to
do a role you're not
be a role that you're not really suited to be.
Yeah.
And then you need to really rise to the top in that role.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think expectations on any partnership is important. Like, if Dana and I were going to go in business together, I would need to really know what am I expecting to her to deliver to the partnership? And then what is she expecting of me? And can I actually deliver on that?
Yeah.
Because if you can't deliver on what the expectation is, I think sometimes people don't bother to figure out that part out, and they just get in there and think, oh, I think this person will get me more business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe they're not behaviorally matched to get more business. No, now you're in a mess. So I think one, plan accordingly money wise. Ask yourself, could that person make more money staying in what they're doing, or could the business make up their income plus some? And if it could, there's no better tool than business than real estate for both of you to be working in, if it works out that you can add more dollars to the team and the business by being together than you could if one of you stayed. If one of you's making $500,000 somewhere, maybe you take that money and you use it towards building wealth instead of coming onto the team. So you kind of have to weigh it all out and see which way's the best.
For us, it was a perfect match. If we wouldn't have done that, and Linda fired me the first week because I didn't like doing the stuff that she didn't like to do. And so she,
well, you wanted to boss me around.
Yeah, that too. I was used to managing about 20 people at a time. And Linda said, look, I'm 3 months pregnant with press right now. And, I don't need somebody to come around here and tell me what to do. I need somebody to go to work. And she was right. And so anyway, but it worked out great. And we wouldn't be where we're at today if we didn't really make that commitment and make it work together.
Yeah. I think when it doesn't work is when someone, a spouse is more admin based and they don't go in and own, to be okay to be admin behaviorally based, but go in and own that piece of the business and run the whole thing and make that thing more efficient, just to go in and, do the $20 an hour work. I don't know that would be efficient. That might kind of get annoying to the other person so get clear on what you think they could, based on their unique abilities, bring to the table. And could it add a lot more money to your bottom line?
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I'd say a couple things here too is emotionally, I know that I would love to be in a business with Dana any time of the day, any way, shape, or form. But then you have to look at the logical side of it, right? So we know that emotion can lead to the possibility of a dead end. Emotion could lead to something that doesn't have a plan in place. So logically, is what I was hearing you guys say, is we got to put a plan in place. If this is something that's going to happen, there's got to be a true vision of where we actually growing to, not just going to, but we got to grow there. And then can we do it together? I'd say that's number one. Number two is really understanding the boundaries, right? Understanding boundaries, not only in roles, but also in relationship and business. And we've already talked about that for the first 45 minutes. And that is knowing what the boundaries are. When does work stop? When do we close the door and not open it up until the next day? And if we do need to open that door, what are the expectations, Linda, just like you said, to be able to still have that conversation throughout the evening, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then trust, right? Can we trust the other person, Linda, as you said, or Jimmy said, to get it done, right? Can we trust the other person to get it done? Because all of us on this call, we're gonna get stuff done, right? We're gonna GSD stuff all day long.
Yeah.
Question is, can you trust your significant other to do the exact same thing to get it done?
I was actually going to say that. I think it can be such a beautiful thing when you can work together, because there's no better person you can trust than your significant other. And it's like, yeah. Go ahead, Linda.
No, I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a comfort in knowing that somebody understands what you're going through, and somehow
when you're in that battle together, it makes a difference. I mean, I can't think of anyone I've ever been a foxhole with than Linda.
Yeah.
I've been in foxholes before.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too, because and I also think that there's a different level of responsibility when you're in it together, because you kind of have to make it work.
Right.
I mean, especially if you don't have another job or something else to fall back on, you're in it.
There's no plan B.
No, I mean, you got to figure it out together. And so you have to be really confident in that being able to happen.
What's funny about that, and I don't know if I'm supposed to step into this space, but we feel so called here to help couples or people that are entrepreneurs that want to support each other, whether one has a W-2 and one has a 1099, is create a course called Couplepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right. What can we do in this space to help others that are either considering getting in the space together or want to help each other? One's an entrepreneur and one's not. So that's something that we've been kicking around is a Couplepreneurs ecosystem or community or course or something along those lines, which we're really excited about.
It feels so.
You're really onto something, Adam, because Linda and I years ago, I mean, whenever we were asked to come teach, they wanted us to come teach about husband and wives and families working together. How do you really build a family business? How do you work together as a husband and wife without killing each other?
Right.
And
well, and Jimmy,
I mean, that was probably
in the same breath. The other thought pattern that I had there was, as we coach and teach or build something like that, it's going to make us stronger. It's going to make us better. It's going to make us feel even more connected, because again, we got to practice what we preach. If we're saying do this, we better be doing that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
If it works, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
that's right.
That's a great way to end it. That's very true.
Can we go back to talking about Jimmy going into the foxholes, Linda? Can we talk about going into a foxhole together? Is that what the foxhole?
Hey, trust me, I've seen Dana. Dana, you definitely want to go in a foxhole with her, because she will, sick, not feeling well, whatever, she'll go in that foxhole and fight no matter what.
That's true.
You got to win with her, Adam.
Well, remember, if you have not hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that now. And the greatest compliment you can pay us is a great review. And if you have a comment, a question, an opportunity, or a challenge, or even a person you'd like to see on the podcast, reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. So Dana and Adam, we'll see you, I guess, at family reunion.
Yes,
yep, absolutely.
Sounds good. See you
Thanks,
then.
guys.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.